complete the following two-column proof. Given that WO is congruent to KO, and R is the midpoint of WK, and then we're going to prove that angle W is congruent to angle K. So let's start with what we know. Even if you can't fill in anything else, you shouldn't leave these blank. WO is congruent to KO, and R is the midpoint of WK. Had to abbreviate a teeny bit, midpoint here. And our reason is given. What we're trying to prove is we're trying to prove that angle W is congruent to angle K. And on this particular problem, we don't have any word banks, but again, feel free to look down at the bottom of the page, and maybe some of the possible statements will help you fill in what you need to know. But in this particular case, let's go over and mark up our triangle first. And what it says is it says that WO is congruent to KO, and that's already on our paper. So it also says that R is the midpoint of WK. Well, if R is the midpoint of WK, then what that's going to mean for us is that that's going to mean that this length is going to be congruent to this length. So we can fill that in here, that WR is congruent to KR, and that's going back to the fact that we're working with the midpoint, so the definition of midpoint. Something else that we might notice in this particular picture is that OR is a part of the triangle to the left, and OR is a part of the triangle to the right, so we can say that OR is congruent to OR because of the reflexive property. So if we mark that up in our picture, what happens is that we've got, in the triangle to the left, we've got a single tick mark side, a double tick mark side, and a triple tick mark side. We've got a single tick mark side on the triangle to the right. We've got a double tick mark side on the triangle to the right. We've got a triple tick mark side on the triangle to the left. So that what that means is that triangle WOR is congruent to triangle KOR. And what happens is that both of those triangles have three sides that are congruent. And consequently, if we say that those two triangles are congruent, then we can say that a part of the triangle, in this case angle W, is congruent to angle K by corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. CPCTC.